For me to be able to sit here and be a fanboy and have writers sitting there reading seemingly just for me, never mind the thousands of people, tens of thousands of people eavesdropping at the same time, is a regular thrill. And after all these years, I'm not jaded. I'm not over the thrill. Hello, I am Jim Freund. I am a producer and talk show host here at WBAI-FM in New York, where I've either hosted or co-hosted Hour of the Wolf, my radio program, since 1972. But I've been working here in one capacity or another since I was 13 years old, 1967. Hour of the Wolf is, at this point, a weekly freeform radio show that centers around science fiction and related fields of endeavor. It's almost easier for me to do it in negatives, like, who haven't I interviewed? My very, very first solo hosting program, where I was the sole host, my guests were Lester Del Rey, Frederick Pohl, and Isaac Asimov. I met Asimov at a Nebula Awards event in New York, and I asked him very timidly, would you be willing to do a radio show? And he said, would I? Yes, of course. And I said, how will I be in touch with you? He said, look me up. I go to the Manhattan directory. In those days, we had books, phone books, and you looked it up and you went under A, and there was Asimov. So I call up, and there's that voice, a totally recognizable voice. And I said, oh, thank God it's you. I thought it was a different Isaac Asimov. He said, I know. I've been trying to get them to publish my name as the Dr. Isaac Asimov, but they won't do it. Most of the people who I've had on have been live on the air, taking phone calls at an absurd hour of the night. Jerry Pournelle, Larry Niven, Ray Bradbury.
When I was a kid, I was a child of libraries, and when we'd go across country on Route 66 from Illinois to Tucson or Los Angeles, I'd check the shelves to see if there were any Oz books. There never were, or any Tarzan books. There never were. In some cases, a lot of other fantasy books that I wanted to see. And my perception of censorship grew at that time.
So I have access to about 10 years worth of shows and of the reading series I produce, the New York Review of Science Fiction Readings. The current material and some of the classic material, the stuff that I do have digitized, I will make available. But once I get that done, I'm going to call that a start. And then I can start worrying about the restoration of the old materials. They're all within the confines of my house. It is so disorganized, I cannot begin to tell you. I've got 2 dresser drawers filled with cassettes, and I could very easily open up a carton and find another few hundred tapes. About 3 bookshelves then filled with 7-inch reels, reel-to-reel tapes, which are on reels, and hubs. 1 out of 3 are really worth having, and of those 1 out of 3, 1 out of 20 are really worth hearing. My legacy are these tapes. That is the totality of what I have been doing, because it's fun and I think it's valuable and worthwhile. Freeform really is just flow of consciousness radio. I can play music for the entire program, or if I just want to take listener calls and get people riled up, I know exactly how to do it. 2 words. I give out the phone number and then I say, Blade Runner sucks. Every phone will be lit in seconds flat, and I've got a show.